Hi folks, welcome to Wednesday's Easter week video. It's based on John 13, 1 to 17, and the heading of it is Jesus washes the disciples' feet. It was just before the Passover feast. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he now showed them the full extent of his love. The evening meal was being served, and the devil had already prompted Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus had answered, "Unless I wash, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "now not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "A person who has had a bath needs only to wash his feet. His whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes, returned to his place, and said, "Do you understand what I have done for you?" He asked them, "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. I tell you the truth, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." So just looking at a bit of background to this, Jesus was aware his time had come. He'd been feeding into his disciples for 3 years, and he'd also been warning them gently that he was going to have to leave them soon, though I don't think they'd really grasped that just at this point. Jesus said he had loved them. He said they had loved his own who were in the world to the end. That obviously included the disciples, and presumably even included Judas Iscariot, even though he was about to betray him. So it says, after the meal, Jesus took off his outer garments, put a towel around him, and with water washed their feet. This was a big thing for the disciples. It's something that a servant would normally do, and I suppose they were just surprised that Jesus did this, and certainly for the Jews this would be a big thing because they were expecting a warrior king, but Jesus is coming along and saying, what I want you to be is servants, to be servant-hearted. So what does this servant-hearted teaching look like? And I've got one or two statements here that I think cover it fairly well. It's about being one who helps others, whatever the cost to yourself. It's really considering others better than yourself, which can be quite painful and lays you open, but that's what Jesus wants. It's about laying down your life for others, which many have done and are still doing, and that's a big ask, but that's what Jesus asks us to be willing to do. And it's about serving rather than being served, which of course is what Jesus was doing in this example. So I guess my challenge to you is now, be ready, go and wash people's feet. Okay, bless you guys. Bye.